And the same agencies that knew that are the agencies that shut down the schools for 2 years. Who does that? Who takes away the support system for these children? Who takes them away and shuts it down? And by the way, when they shut it down, they stopped the mandated reporters from being able to see children that were being abused and sexually molested, and in fact sent them home and abandoned them to their abusers with no way to watch, and referrals dropped 50 to 60%. So
there was also a pandemic going on, and they were trying to save
kids' lives. Remember, we know a lot of folks who died during this. So it wasn't, people weren't laying around eating bond, but, well, you know what? We're lucky. Maybe we're lucky they didn't, because we kept them out of the places that they could be sick, because no one wanted to believe we had an issue.
Are you saying no school children died of COVID?
I'm saying it was the safest group. They were the less vulnerable group, and they suffered and will suffer more from the mismanagement of COVID than they will from the exposure to COVID. And that's not an opinion, that's a fact.
Let's look at some facts, Dr. Phil, you big phony.
Are the agencies that shut down the schools for 2 years. Who does that?
Literally nobody, that's who. Certainly not the US. To use a medical term, you pull that out of your ass.
And that's not an opinion, that's a fact.
It's becoming more clear that children are far from safe from long COVID, with more and more studies showing that rates of a quarter of kids who are infected with SARS-CoV-2 develop long COVID.
And that's not an opinion, that's a fact.
Kids at school are being repeatedly infected with COVID with no precautions. It's become more clear that repeat infections increase the risk of long COVID, with this study out of Canada showing that by the third infection, the long COVID rates are 38%.
And that's not an opinion, that's a fact.
Long COVID causes brain damage, and repeat infections cause brain damage. Kids are not immune to this.
And that's not an opinion, that's a fact.
In conclusion, Dr. Phil wants your children to get brain damage. I would urge him to use his platform to advocate for kids to stay in school safely, with improved air filtration and use of respirators, or at the very least, apologise, retract your dumbass comments, and just stay in your lane, being a fake TV doctor who sends troubled kids away to ranches to be traumatised.
And that's not an opinion, that's a fact.